Hey, so I just want to let you know, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm not asking this question to anybody else who have already asked us to, who made comments in my other videos about it. But the question is, are both heaven and paradise the same thing? Type in the comments below yes or no. And may I add this in the video. In the cave in Israel, after the resurrection on the third day of Jesus, when Jesus came back, Jesus did not go right to heaven yet. What happened was that when Mary went into the cave to see if Jesus was there or not, she didn't know anything yet until Jesus was right behind Mary. Mary, he said Mary. He said her name out loud. And Mary turned around and saw Jesus in the spirit. And she knew right away that he had resurrected. He came back to life on the third day. I believe it's the Sabbath day. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. If he raised him on the Sabbath. And Mary was going to touch Jesus, but Jesus told Mary, "Touch me not, for I am not yet ascended unto my Father. Now go and say unto my brethren, I ascend unto my Father, and your Father, and their Father." Acknowledging and telling her that Jehovah is not just Jesus' Father, but he's their Father too. To all mankind, and womankind, and childrenkind. To everybody's Father. Of the universe, of heaven and earth. The kingdom of heaven and earth. Now Jesus could have easily said, "Oh no, he's just my Father, he's not yours. I'm going back to heaven, bye." He could have done that. He could have said that. He could have thought about that. But he didn't. He was telling Mary that Jesus knew that he's Mary's Father. Now that Jesus is their son, but Jehovah is their Father from heaven, and he knows all things. Basically saying that Jesus did not ascend and go back to heaven yet. Because if heaven and paradise were the same thing, Jesus would have already seen his Father after his resurrection. He could have came back to earth as Jehovah commanded him to do so. And Jesus would have had Mary able to touch him and hug him and touch his hands to see if he had resurrected or not. So that shows you that heaven and paradise are not the same thing, because then Jesus would have allowed Mary to touch him after he has seen his Father and came back to earth. And part of the other story, guys, was that Jesus did preach about Moses and the Ten Commandments, and Jesus did talk about that. Because Moses and the Ten Commandments story in Exodus happened way before Jesus even came to earth. So Moses had even been around on earth before Jesus. But Jesus also could have said, "Before Moses was born, I am." The only one he said that about was Abraham, because the Jews did not believe that Jesus was eternal. But Jesus was basically saying he's eternity. He's forever. There's no end to him. The devil may have been at the crucifixion, but he weren't saved by the power of Christ. The devil himself was there at the crucifixion. He knew what was going on. He planned it. He tried to get rid of Jesus, but with his demons, but the devil failed. He lost the battle. He could have been easily defeated right then and there after Jesus came back to life, but there could have been a battle right there. He could have sent his angels, and the demons could have came too, and there could have been a battle right there and there, but it did not happen because Jesus went back to heaven. The devil cannot go back. He had his chance. If he tried to have a second coming there, who knows what would have happened. There would have been a battle again. Guys, did you know that the spiritual battle comes from the spiritual world? Every world like this is real. You have the good, you have the evil. You have the Lord and his servants. You have, which are his angels, because the angels serve the Lord with the best of their ability. And whether you guys believe it or not, it's true. These stories are true. These things are real. These places that exist, they're real. Now, if you read the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 18, it says that what is unseen is eternal in the spirit, but what is seen on the earth is temporary in the flesh. That means on the earth it will not last forever. And Jesus also, and this is not in the book, but what I'm saying is also, may I add this, Jesus said that whoever will save his life shall lose it, but whoever will lose his life for me shall find it. Basically saying that whoever will save their life in the bodies in this life, they'll lose it in the spirit and go to hell. But if you lose your life in this body for Christ, in the spirit you will find it and go to heaven. That's what he was saying. Because if you give everything for Christ and deny yourself and pick up your cross and follow him, he didn't say how to follow him, where to follow him, but he said, just follow me. He didn't say when, where, what, and how to follow him. He just said, come follow me. Remember the rich man and Jesus? Lazarus, when he saw that the Father of God had Jesus to rise Lazarus back from the dead, when Lazarus came back to life, he knew that who Jesus was, and he called him Lord. And Lazarus was saved, and he did the works of Christ on earth, and he went to heaven. And I believe he was Lord. If you guys know the full story of Lazarus, let me know in the comments below, and I'll read the Bible about it.